My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Vault of the Void. We're going to be playing the Enlightened in Impossible mode with the Martial base deck. We've got only 2 cards left that we have to master. Let's get them, let's get at least one of those. Let's get half of those done here. We have Unbalancing Strike, deal 6 Future Strike as an opener. It applies 1 vulnerable. There's Outpace as well, deal 14, and 2 extra, deal 14. Block for 14, 2 extra block for each stack of fatigue across all enemies. That happens more commonly in a Kick'em build. The Future Strike, there we go. Better Future as well for vision to return cards, as well as upgrade them. There's a Sneak Attack here, deals 9 damage, an amount of times equal to the target's frenzy value, upgrades to 14. And then finally, Bring the Thunder, siphons in order to give you rage, but you would have to generate energy afterwards in order to actually utilize that rage, because the siphon effect takes all of it. Cool. I mean, there's a couple of these that I can already put in the deck by base. We have a lot of access to slow in this deck already with the kicks in the base. So Combination Strike makes a lot of sense here. Sure. We also have Spawn 1 less Frenzy, start the next round with a random potion, delay block 6 at the start of each turn, each time you purge a card, block 3. I may end up going for the potion in this one, just because the rest of them I don't think are necessarily as powerful as I would really want. Got a random class uncommon to your backpack, an upgrade point, 15 max HP. Let's have a look at the map. There is a very, very late Soul Collector. No Disheveled Salesman. Clear Image is on the bottom. Combination Strike, and then Calm and Deliberate and Mind Blast. 2 Mind Blasts. So I could avoid that Deliberate, get 2 Mind Blasts, have an easier time getting into Zen. Obviously, both would want to be upgraded, but shouldn't be too difficult for us to do. State of Mind, not huge on that, but if I want to get the most value, to be go up that way and then carve down here. So we're missing out on this treasure as well as this cursed item. Cursed items can really, really rocket you off to success. Give you something to build around. Union, deal 2 Future Strike 4 times, deal 7 She. I'm happy to take Union as well. It's a Dark Idol, a Time to Maim that has block attached to it as well. So 4 blocks, 75% rage if you have no rage. Very, very reasonable. Wouldn't be surprised to see some sort of path go up, 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 then down in that way, getting to the Union. We have no Kondo over here. Yin Yang, do-over. All alone at the very end. Very excited to see that, because I can guarantee that I'm getting that. I'm also almost certainly going from the bottom, right? So, well, actually, how do I get that Soul Collector if I'm going to the bottom? Anyway, all of this looking at the map right here was just to tell me whether or not I specifically wanted any of these over the rest of them. It's probably just going to be the upgrade point, I think, here. I probably even put that on Sneak Attack. Ooh. Deck Manager. Where's the Sneak Attack? Is out here. Deals 14 damage an amount of times equal to the target's frenzy value. So this doesn't trigger multiple times. So that's probably not where I want to put the purple Void Stone. I do want to cut both Gaining Momentums, put an Unbalanced Strike and a Sneak Strike in there. Also going to cut a Repeating Deflection and put a Combination Strike in. You can typically go a little bit more aggressive early on. The idea of getting these 2 Combination Strikes into the deck very early on and having both of them upgraded seems like it's something that could just pull us along for a while. More so than maybe the value of these items. It's also worth noting that the item and the treasure aren't going to give us that many souls for the Soul Collector at the very end, but fighting a bunch of enemies up here, well, that's Soul City, baby. If Deliberate didn't cost 3, it'd be a lot easier to go north there. I think I still do it, but I'm going to be a little sad about it. So you get 1 Mind Blast and have the ability to upgrade that. Stillness and Time to Maim. So, So if I really wanted to go to Union, I'd just go Killing Blow across. Actually, the ideal is going Mob Room, Treasure, Soul Collector, out, that way, right? So we miss out on Do-Over. So we want to end up on this spot, and we have to end up on this spot from this spot, which means it has to be from this spot. So do I join that with the Killing Room or the Killing Blow? Sorry, the Dark Idol or the Killing Blow? I mean, the Dark Idol would give us the ability to possibly spend some of our money for a common artifacts. We probably won't want to spend souls there. I mean, we could put 3 voids into the deck, but without taking a single shrine after the Dark Idol, that becomes a lot harder to do. I'm probably going to go Killing Blow. So this is the path I'm going to lay out for myself here early on. All right. I'm also going to hold on to the Purple Voids. Should I hold on to the Purple Void Stone here? Does this get too... Yeah, okay. This gets too vulnerable after the upgrade. And unbalanced... I mean, look, an extra turn of vulnerability is worth. Especially because this guarantees that the Future Strike will occur whilst that vulnerability is on, because Future Strike happens every 2 turns. Sure. I'm gonna give that a Purple Void Stone. Because sometimes the turn after that is the turn that I'm justifying setting up for. And Acolytes, Throat Cutters, etc. Let's go. The leverage is still the same. Good to see it. Clarity, repeating deflection, and then just go. Sure. Put clarity on sneak attack. That is to say, foresighted, so it costs less. So usually you trigger this on turn 2, so the vulnerability is active on the turn. But if I do this now, yeah, the vulnerability will disappear, but the enemy is only taking 10 damage next turn. If I do this now, I can guarantee the Throat Cutter dies next turn. And not only can I do that, but I also have the leverage on cooldown 1 turn earlier. So I have no incoming damage this turn. It says 18, but it's 0. Unbalanced, lashing, sneak attack, got him. Okay, maybe it's combination strike on my first 2 upgrades. Blightwit as well as Gloomshroom. Happy to do this. Sneak attack actually straight up just kills Blightwit at the moment, doesn't it? Oh, wow, hang on. If I slow the enemy, that doesn't decrease their... Wait, hang on, I'm checking. Slow, reduces frenzy by 1 per stack. I wonder if sneak attack is going to deal less damage based on having used lashing kicks. I got delay block 10 so I can purge that. I mean, there's a way to find out if I want to use it right now. Okay, so 42, which is 21 times 2. So yeah, the frenzy value of this enemy right now is 3, and they have 1 slow, but the sneak attack is dealing less damage as a result of this. That means sneak attack is actually significantly worse in this deck. Because I can't set up slow on a target preemptively without devaluing the effect of the sneak attack. Well, at least I know that now. Got that information tucked away for the future. Okay, we got our upgrade points. Wow, is the second combination strike isn't even in the deck? Oh yeah, I just got it a room ago and I didn't put it in. Whoops. Got a lashing strike for another combination strike. Yes, this is an extra energy, but it also draws us a card, which itself is an extra energy. So, feel pretty dang justified. Ghostly Piranha. Oh, the Piranhas are going to give us business. I mean, actually, I don't have to slow any of them this turn. Let's get a repeating deflection out there. I'm going to reduce the cost of the sneak attack. That'll just be an instantaneous kill on a target for us. We probably want to try and get 2 of them down this turn, ideally. Okay, so 2 of them isn't happening anymore. It might be triple purge and then just repeating deflect. Or double purge, repeating deflect. So this would kill the Ghostly Piranha on the left-hand side, but ideally I do not want to do that until all of them are going to die, or at least 2 of them are going to die. Okay. So this is an instantaneous kill on a target for us, but I would have to follow it up immediately as well. I think I leave sneak attack in hand here. So this is like kick there. There would be 9. Lashing kicks left in the deck. Sure. I shouldn't even have to use the ability this time, but we should have a kill. Okay, so we purge 2. Right, 9 over there. 9, 18, sneak attack. Yeah, and we don't take the incoming damage. I was just making certain. Okay, second combination strike that's upgraded. Did I even... Yeah, I did put the first one in. Phew. I like the idea of a blue void stone also going on one of the combination strikes, just giving me a lot more control over the hand after I play him. Black void stone could easily go in one as well. I could upgrade this Mind Blast and then give this a Black Void Stone. Be happy with that. Infecti. Sure. Ooh, good lord. What an opening turn. Think I should play it safe-ish? No. No, I can block next turn. Okay, so you're dead next turn already. You're getting closer. We will use the leverage on turn 2 here. The vulnerability. Okay. Purge the sneak attack. This is going to be repeating deflection, repeating deflection, repeating deflection. Yeah, 100% of the time. Up, up, up. Hey, got another one. 10 incoming as well. What's the highest cost card in the deck? I guess it's literally just the one that has opener charged on it. Would have been nice to get a kill there as well. But unless I kill all 3 on the same turn, I'm not preventing any respawns, so it's not ridiculously different. I mean, this gives vulnerable, but the vulnerable doesn't actually even impact anything because it's not the future striking turn. Okay, one more target down. Our energy is quickly becoming a problem. It's good enough defense at the absolute least, but it requires that I not use any attacks this turn. So it's sneak attack for 14 over there. It's not going to be enough, obviously. I mean, like that's an easy purge. It's not really what I wanted to do, but sure. I wanted the extra one to go over on this. Would have prevented another respawn there. Oops. Well, we get a black void stone here at the absolute least, and we're working into a yellow void stone now. And it also actually looks like I'm not going to have too much difficulty rounding out this fight here. Yeah, the enemies are charging up, but should be fine. Maybe I should still yeah, I think I still use leverage this turn, though. Get some Shi and weakness out on the field. Take less damage next turn. Repeating clarity on a combination strike is a great card to hit with that. Yeah, that's not going to be enough Shi to get a kill. Whoops. One lash. Combination strike followed by another one, and we are sorted. I mean, like, I can preemptively block next turn, but there's no way they can heal outside of this. Perfect. Alright, the next upgrade. I did say this one was going on Mind Blast, right? Saves us energy. Makes sense. Could even give the Black Void Stone to it right now. So that would mean this is, like, chain 2 instantaneously. You know what? Yeah. I like that. Voidling and the State of Mind. Well, at least we have the one card that hits a large amount individually here, right? Creature gains 1 AP, but if I keep them slowed, maybe I don't even care about that, and I do want to just go as ham as I can with damage. Especially with Rage and Combination Strike in the opening hand here. I don't think I use Sneak Attack against this enemy. Alright. Your AP is increased, but you are slowed. You got 45 incoming damage this turn. I'm probably just gonna combo strike defend here. So you know what? I'll do all of it. Combo strike, defend. I have to play 4 cards in order to even slow the enemy here. And slowing the enemy on a turn they're not attacking doesn't really make that much sense there. Okay, hopefully we get some pretty impactful cards. This could be that. Mind Blast into Combination Strike. That's a Sneak Attack. Mind Blast. Sneak Attack. Balance and then Lashing. And then the kill is at the end of next turn. Have all of these been perfect fights? Yeah, I mean, they have to have been perfect fights. I've had no way of healing, so... Neat! Easy Blessing of Greed right there. Duck and Weave blocks 8, sifts 1. Upgrades to block 12. This might just be a card that I put in the deck. Oftentimes, I find this is just a card that I put in the deck. It's giant amount of block value for 1 energy in this game. Like, typically you end up paying 2 energy for a single block. It also comes with a sift. That can matter a lot as the enemies start trashing our deck later on. Let's do it. Corrupted Ogre. Can inflict dazes before attacking. I mean, this one's got the pommel state. It does 30 damage. Adds 2 dazes to the top of our pile. And then increases Frenzy by 1? Don't know. But we're going to have to worry a little about the enemies, possibly. Attack set here. Incoming damage 0, though, so get lashed kicked. Unbalancing, sneaky strike, lashing kick. Wow, we've actually found a good turn here. Unbalancing. Sneak strike. Purge that lashing. $19 HP left on the enemy. If only I had 19 instantaneous direct damage I could deal to a target, because I'm pretty sure that I just take 22 damage here. Yes. We need that relic that says deal future strike damage on turn 3. He's super handy here. 16 in order to end a fight with the Corrupted Ogre. Not bad. Could be one hell of a lot worse. Okay. Upgrade that Duck and Weave, and as promised, pop that into the deck. What's the balance in the deck at the moment? Let's cut one Lashing Kick and also pop in the Better Future. Go 11 and 9 rather than 10 and 12 and 8. Alright, Spellchild. I could swap away from Fatigue. Reduce your current vulnerability to 0, block 4. I mean, like, it's a good tool to have in a fight that you know where, hey, these enemies are going to make me vulnerable. They're going to make me extremely vulnerable, and I don't have the block core to be able to account for that. So weapon switch, sift 1, draw 1, discard 1. I think I'll stick with the leverage at the moment, though. Whew, is it time to go for the Dark Idol? I could even avoid that Yin Yang and go for a Stonesmith instead. That might be a better idea. Getting an early Black Void Stone. Even another yellow Void Stone would really hit it off. You have no excess. I should just be checking the top. So this is an upgrade. It's also Killing Blow. The upgrade with Killing Blow is to 28 damage for a single attack. 28 damage for a single attack is not bad. It's very good. It's not bad. It's incredible. But how well does this deck utilize it? Do I even need to consider how well this deck utilizes it, or is it just a thing that goes into the deck? Because if it isn't, and if I don't directly have a great upgrade target, maybe this goes idle? Damn it. I'm stalling on this decision for too long, but I think it's impactful. Going to the Dark Idol. I'm going to donate 250, sorry, here. At the start of your turn, block 2. Yeah, it's probably not worth it. Skeleton Mage. All right. Well, I know there's one card that'd be really useful here. Every 7th attack card played will trigger an additional time. Like clockwork, though, every 6th attack card played is returned to your hand instead of the discard. That is way better for us than the Band of Attack, because this gives us the ability to use it for extra chain. This does not. Let's go. Clarity on sneak attack. Make sure that's viable to use. I'm going to purge this for the energy next turn rather than get the sift value out of it, though. Good lord. Okay. Let's go. Flashing combo strike. Oh, sneak attack. Hang on. Foreseen. So foreseen. Wait. What exactly is the text of foreseen? Foreseen is stripped on play, meaning clone or ghost copies won't retain this. Okay, so this will return to my hand at 3 cost if I happen to use it as my light clockwork card. Or at 2 cost because we will be in Zen. Should have used that beforehand, made it vulnerable. Whoops. Really wish I did that one correctly. Yeah, because it would have killed. Instead, we get hit by a 22 here. Please draw the deflection. Actually, hang on. Vision puts the card atop the deck, right? And then I'll immediately draw the card that I put atop the deck. Wait. Hang on. Mind Blast is 3 twice. Enemy has... So wait, 3 twice is 4 twice, and I get to do that 2 times. Mind Blast goes atop the deck, I immediately draw it. I use Mind Blast 2 times, and I win the fight. Boom! Yeah! Oh! Okay, I like it. Hey, you know what? Specifically due to the fact that we can do that and we have more draw in the deck, maybe this Better Future is way better than I'm giving it credit for. It is a 1 energy card that gives us 2 vision. And hey, what if instead of being a 1 energy card that gives us 2 vision and 4 block, it was a 1 energy card that gives us 8 block and 2 vision? After we upgrade it, we'll upgrade it. That merchant could actually help to find the run. This also gets us more souls for the soul collector. I'm probably still not even going to have enough souls to really get something. Ooh, treasure goblin. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Vulnerable. Future strike. Purge. Future strike. Huh? And a normal double purge. So this is honestly like probably the only turn I really get to hit the enemy. It's Better Future to get a... I'm gonna get vulnerability back atop the deck because I'm probably gonna draw the big card next turn. This enemy has like no frenzy though. Oh, they haven't left yet. Okay, that's good. Unbalancing strike into Mind Blast, into Sneak Attack. Purge. Sneak Attack. Got the kill. Nice. Great fight. Ah, it's a Mimic! Oh, they're gonna attack us on turn 1 for 21 damage. They did not find defense. Making him vulnerable doesn't matter as much as rage right now. So much damage. All right, so if I want to get the maximum amount of damage out this turn, I use leverage. I just start lashing, kicking until the enemy's dead. Or as close as I can get him, really. 17 souls, and we're just before the soul collector, so I hope I get 3 souls out of this fight, I guess. One of the better results I could really ask for. Sneak attack. Sneak attack and both combination strikes are in the deck. That's really annoying. They're exactly the cards that I want. Okay, I'm gonna purge the Better Future then. Just play defend, clarity. Then I drop the clarity on a combination strike just in case I happen to draw it. Managed to get the full defense up for this turn. I have to lose the sneak. But yeah, ideally we were going to be able to cover that this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get the like clockwork incremented basically as well as we can, and end turn get that kill. Mind over matter. This is really interesting to me. It has Purge Foresight 1. Add all cards with Foresight cast on them from the deck to your hand. We only get 1 soul out of this. I'm not hugely on board with that. I'm going to take Mind over matter, though, because we have in this deck a Clarity. Do we have a Clarity in the draw as well? No, we don't have a Clarity in here. We do have a Foresight in Calm, Foresight X, where X equals the number of creatures with fatigue. Minimum of 2, though. So, if I had 2 green Void Stones, one could go in Mind over matter, one could go in Calm, the other one could be a Clarity, but the Clarity is upgraded, so it's rigged. So my opening hand has this Calm, this Mind over matter, and Clarity, and then I play all 3 of those. Those get us into Zen, and also 3 of the cards in our deck are foreseen, and then Mind over matter just pulls those into hand. So my first turn can be ridiculous, but it takes a little bit of setup. Stoic Mask, unfortunately this... Oh, come on, that's so good! It hurts to miss out on that. First card you play in a turn that costs 0, draw 1. Sorry, if the first card you play in a turn costs 0, draw 1. Never mind, that's completely different. The start of each fight, Foresight 1! Okay, yeah, I'm on board with that, definitely. With the kind of build that I'm trying to go for. Yellow Voidstone. While I could take that, there will be another Soul Collector later. Okay. Swift Kick seems good too, just to replace the Mind Blast we already have in the deck. But the Mind Blast already in the deck has a Ghost Gem in it. If the target is slow, trigger +1. Yeah, 1,000 Fists is really good here too. Just gonna take that in peace. There's also an All Alone down here. Okay. Let's get 1,000 Fists into the deck. And then I'm not running Mind over matter and Outpace yet. Got a Lashing or a Gaining Momentum. Actually, I'm going to cut a Repeating Deflection. Get a little less defensive here so I can be aggressive against Bruce, because my defense is never really going to be able to match Bruce. At the end of your turn, yeah, the Pendant of Focus is really good. Okay, we Foresight a card at the start of the battle. Wow. Hang on. So this is literally before my draw? So I can actually draw a 0 cost here. In fact, if I have just a green Voidstone in one of these cards, I can Foresight it, put it in my opening hand, and just start going from there. Intriguing. Let's Foresight the Sneak Attack, regardless of whether it goes in the opening hand, that's fine. Really hoping I was going to draw an attack there, which we did, but not really what I wanted. 1,000 Fists, and then that's Repeating Deflection, do 1,000 Fists again. 75 damage. I mean, we can't actually get vulnerability on the enemy, so we just use leverage every single time it comes up. I mean, we could have waited 1 turn and then weakened with it. Yeah, that would have been a good idea, actually. Purge this Clarity, Unbalance, Strike. Defend, and then at least slow the enemy. 17 more damage incoming, but we block 5 of already. Oh, sorry, 11 for? I really wish I was in Zen at the start of this turn. I may actually just hard defend, ready for the next turn here. Like Repeating Deflection, Better Future. Sure. Deflect, Future, and atop the deck I will put Duck and Weave. And I can slow the enemy this turn. Actually, I could slow them 2 times this turn. I was planning on waiting for the Combination Strike to be the card that I double play, but actually I could even draw with the Combination Strike. Purge the card, do it again. Yeah, okay, let's do that. Purge. I guess I'm getting rid of Duck and Weave there as well. Frenzy value is 2, so that Sneak Attack isn't even huge. Then I'll slow them. 11 incoming damage next turn. I don't enter Zen at the start of this turn, but in 1 turn's time I will. Use Better Future here to pop a Lashing Kick back atop the deck and then just double Purge. Having been given the opportunity to. We start this turn in Zen. 2 cards to discard. Why? This is 15. This is 28. All of the rest of them more. So Lashing Kick is the one get dropped. It's 56 Future Strike, and that's 28 current. So yeah, it's 1,000 Fists here 100% of the time. Unless I want to go for the draw from the Combination Strike, I think it's 1,000 Fists. Perfect. There's no way the enemy heals before any of this goes off next turn, so rest in rip. We get the All Alone, we get 3 souls there as well. And, I mean, All Alone's not going to really be relevant in this fight, so don't have to worry about its placement in the deck yet. I really like getting combination strikes just so that I can cycle through my first deck cycle a little bit faster. I love that that's just Zen entry in a single card for 0 energy, as well as 18 Shi for us a reasonable amount of the time due to the like clockwork. Just real nice, you know? Let's get 4 preemptive block for the next turn. Purge the clarity. There we go. Good, I can generate enough defense to cover the loaded Piglet here. I should make sure to use leverage first. And then start out with an unbalanced strike. Really, do I start out with an unbalanced strike? Yes, because then Lashing Kick and Lashing Kick actually give us the Zen. Unbalanced. Lashing. Lashing, we're into Zen. We play... I mean... Sneak attack is damage, but combination strike. Wait, I already upgraded that combination strike before. Whoops. That one was already foreseen. Let's gain some momentum and then hit him with the damage. Two turns time. What's left in the deck? Lashing Kick. I'll block next turn. I need the extra energy. Oh, thank you for shuffling those. Sincerely, thank you for shuffling those, because this sneak attack now comes back into hand instantaneously and gets cast again and we win. 2 upgrade points, 2 random void stones. The random void stones could be green. I mean, the upgrade points at this would literally just be the repeating deflections, right? Our defense, we can't let our defense lag, is the thing. We really can't let it lag hugely behind us, which is what we have done repeatedly before. Now, did I upgrade any of my defense? No, of course not. Why would I? Oh, because of the thing I just said. Oh, you're right. That would be a good idea. Okay. Let's have a look at this floor. There's another clarity. I mean, the clarity goes into a treasure. That's reasonable. The combination strike up at the top as well. Apply slow 1. If the target is already slow, apply 2 weak instead. Upgrades to also apply that 2 weak. That's weak access, baby. That's not nothing. It's valuable. Wouldn't be going to that unbalanced strike. So if I was going north, it'd be up. Then opposing strike down here. Yeah, this is fine. Stillness, up, cross, going to the Disheveled Salesman with hopefully a decent amount of essence by that point. Probably not, though. Stillness, Time Warp down here. Future Strike will trigger at the end of this turn. Purge to chain 1. A card that purges to chain. Yes. 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 this is exactly what I need. I imagine it'll specifically do chain, an ability chain. Defensive attack, I mean, this could just be another one of the cards that we use in our foresight triggers, right? Cautious blow, opener, delay block 6, thrice. Yeah, probably not cautious blow. So defensive, and then unload, and then soul collector, mob room, dark mine, merchant down, elite leap. So what's the downside of this? The downside of this is honestly missing out on that clarity. But we don't have that many opportunities to upgrade over the course of this floor unless we take these 2 early opportunities to upgrade, and we need to upgrade the parts of the deck that would work with the clarity as well. So I could see myself just going north for that. That cursed item actually could be interesting. I have the ability to even remove the weakness soon thereafter. Let's do it. Loaded, drown, deep. No reason to put all alone in this deck. No reason to use bacon. Hey, we got that combo strike in the opening hand. Oh my god, this is a great opening hand. All right, get vulnerable. Let me draw a card at you. Draw another card at you. And then, because I mean Zen, that's literally lethal on the Doom already. The Deep, rather. I'm leaving the block and weave in here for the next turn. 1 card short of being in Zen at the start of the next turn as well. Oh my gosh. I mean, I should just defend as much as I can this turn. Makes the most sense, right? Wait, I can't even get into Zen. That's fine. Gonna Dock und Weave. Let's get past that clarity. It doesn't seem like that'll make much sense anymore for us. Use a better future. Do I put 2 combination strikes atop the deck right now? Sure. Why wouldn't I? Then I hard purge the rest of the hand. Hopefully the resummon is drowned, not bloated. Drowned, not bloated, drowned, not bloated, drowned, not bloated. Okay, as long as I use my ability this turn, we're fine. I could use it next turn. Yeah, I'll use it next turn. Okay. Ability next turn will also kill you. So yeah, let's start focusing on the bloated now. Lowering the bloated's frenzy there was also really, really helpful. I mean, I could do this turn or next turn and still be fine either way. Yeah, so let's get the cooldown going down faster. Mind Blast them. 2 times they're over. Even score a combo strike in there. Come on. Okay, Pendant of Focus didn't even register the end of that, so I still get to keep it. Perfect. The deceleration really, really, really wants an upgrade. How much weak application do I have in this entire deck? None? Literally none? I've cut a lot of lashing kicks out of this deck, but I think I will leave as many as I possibly can in there as well. What's our next fight? Can't see it. First Elite. First Elite is pretty far away. I'm taking the decel. I'm also gaining momentum for the decel. Nice. Getting us a little bit back even there. As for the red void stone, I'm gonna guess it could go on 1,000 Fists. It could go on Combination Strike. In fact, yeah, I'm just putting that in Combination Strike. Speaking of Combination Strike, let's get another one. Well-rounded fight, some healing, as well as the ability to inflict fear. Fair enough. They're not multi-striking me by base. Yeah, they gain multi-strike over time. So we'll lower the cost of this Combination Strike. Ooh, 1,000 Fists. We're going to use Mind Blast exclusively to get into 1,000 Fists here. Mind Blast! Mind Blast! Mind Blast! Nice! This is... I mean... if Zen or if the target is slow. I am in Zen, so I don't have to worry. So 2818 is 3646, so that Dark Courtesan is already dead. Start focusing on this one. Get 250s down on the next turn. That's one way to success. We also get the one extra, triggering the Pendant of Focus for the next turn too. So we're already in Zen. 24. 39, nice. Not going to be able to full block here regardless though. Oh no! Yeah, I didn't need to do another one. The she split would have been enough. Okay. I mean, this one seems just pretty simple. Get him vulnerable. Hit him for damage. Hit him for damage again. And I'm looking to increment the Pendant of Focus and Light Clockwork as much as possible before the end of this fight. So how do I do that best? Literally the best way for us to do that right now is decel, better future, whatever, it doesn't matter. Defend and then just pass. No, wait, because yeah, the Pendant of Focus won't even bother. Never mind. If the Pendant of Focus won't even bother to do anything there, then we just attack again. Yeah, because it doesn't increment from the 4. Do I put the extra Combination Strike in the deck? Like, that is our damage engine right now. It's also a draw engine. They're really, really good foresight targets, because if all of them are foresighted and go into the opening hand, then turn 1, I just rattle enemies to their bone, and I also draw more cards back in the hand. I think that definitely justifies it, actually. Just what does it justify it over, right? Because we do have to cut other cards. I think the Clarity can get out of the deck right now. I think we still need Clarity, Mind Over Matter, and Calm all to get upgraded. And I also need at least 1 green Voidstone, probably 2, really to feel comfortable doing this build. It's possible it doesn't even come together. In which case, I'm going to be very happy that I have all these foresights. Each time you tile to an empty tile, heal 50% of your max HP. I'm going to destroy the item because... note the 1 empty tile that remains between me and the rest of the run. So I could get 3 HP or 3 Void. Taxidermist, as well as the Unholy Creation. Let's go. Obviously, Sneak Attack is primary here. It will instantaneously kill targets. And as the Taxidermist gives their own Frenzy Hire, it'll kill them too. Do I get aggressive or defensive on turn 1? I think I get defensive. I'm going to repeating deflection, better future, both repeating deflections back to the top of the deck. Get some kicks out there. Nice. Okay, so that sneak attack already kills the unholy creation over on the left. Love that. Unfortunately, this unholy creation has not enough frenzy to do anything. So attacks him instantly, increases frenzy by 1. 1 plus the number of cards I have in my hand. I have 5 cards in hand. You have 1 slow on you. Why are you not giant? I don't know what's going on here. Ooh, Mind Blast as well. This is saying it'll do no damage. What? Okay, I'm gonna do the 42 that I get. It's the safe 42 right there. Okay, first attack comes back to hand. We'll sort that out, and then I guess we get started on the taxidermist again. Thousand Fists really wants to be played right now. It's 42 damage. Yeah, I'll cop my 6 for 42. We also start the next turn in Zen. Ooh. Makes this combination strike turn real simple for us. I mean, 1 lashing kick there already gets the kill. So I'm 1,000 Fists over here, and then 1,000 Fists over there again. Okay. And then ideally, something along the lines of that'll happen. Potion of Stealth. Not half bad, not half bad. That Prayer for Greed is obviously gonna be the one we go for. This salesman could give us something good. He's hoping, you know? Yeah, speed of this fight setup is what we need. Yeah, I didn't even go for sneak attack intentionally there. Without enough attacks in the opening hand to trigger, I think we have to go for D-Cell, Repeating Deflection. I'm going to use a Better Future. And then I put 2 cards atop the deck, right? So that'll go atop the deck, and then the D-Cell goes on top of it. I draw the D-Cell immediately back out. That target is slow, so they will now get 1 slow and 2 more weak also. Which is going to matter, because that target's really the annoying one. I could give you another slow. Actually, I could... No, I can't give more slow to the knight. Obviously, it'll wear off before the knight actually attacks. I'm gonna go for the extra energy, actually. Make my future turns a little easier. Yikes. Not the hand I wanted to see. Okay, I'm just gonna repeating deflect, deflect. Get a lashing kick out on you. Then I guess I purge another attack. I really want to use leverage now? Yeah, if nothing else, leverage is just going to have every enemy inflict fatigue this turn. So it'll amplify my future damage. Okay, let's lash for a second there. Draw a couple cards. Nice. Managing to get myself into Zen before we use the 1,000 Fists here. Kind of want to just leave Duck and Weave in hand for the next turn too. In fact, if I play nothing else, the Zen state, the Pendant of Focus is going to get into Zen state next turn. Pendant of Focus is so good. Oh my god. Like, I don't even play around it all of the time, but when I play around it, it feels, like I'm thinking a couple turns ahead and I'm doing the... I pointed out that I think the Daughter of the Void, I pointed out in my recent episode with the Daughter of the Void that I think that she is very much the I need to be, or specifically her Soul Tithe version of her deck is very much, I need to be able to look a couple turns in the future and know what I'm doing on each of those turns and how much damage I can afford to take, how much of my resources I can afford to expend or build, as the case may be. I'm definitely getting a lot of those vibes from specifically playing with Dependent Focus here on this character as well. I mean, obviously, Future Strike, you have to plan a turn ahead as well. It's naturally got that kind of thing going on. But I'm really feeling it right now, you know? God, we got no defense in this hand. Whew. Yikes. I should probably sift past a lashing kick. No, I need those to actually get into the... What's the frenzy value? Frenzy value on the left. I mean, that target's going to die in 2 turns time, right? So, get past the sneak attack, actually. Double purge this. Yeah, unfortunately, the knight was taunting there, which was the reason I didn't just attack the assassin instead. Incoming this turn being 34 is not great. Very much not excellent. Okay, then we use an unbalanced strike on you, and then defend. I mean, look, we found some defense that turn, much more than I thought we were gonna get. Oh wow, so that left target isn't dying anymore. Even with that she still not dying anymore. Deflect, better future. I'm popping the combination strikes both atop the deck. 32 and 6. You are short by 1 assassin. But now that the assassin's dead, the incoming damage every turn is significantly lower. Great. I wish I was in Zen. Combo strike gets through those. So just purge 2 cards, get another attack out there. Okay. Mainline target dies at the end of this turn. I can Mind Blast 3 times here, get into 1, 2, 3. This is unfortunate. Wait, hang on. No. The spreadsheet from the first target might kill the second. Just shot. So unfortunately, this means the Pendant of Focus is going to go off this turn, so I miss out on a lot of value I could have otherwise gotten. I mean, I could just hold this turn, right? Why not? Heck, I could probably hold another turn. It's like 1, 2, 3. No, wait, the enemy dies at the end of this turn no matter what I do. So yeah, I actually just want to play as many attacks as possible. Okay, get an upgrade point out of all of that. We'll finally upgrade Mind Over Matter. And I'm going to put it in the deck rather than one of these worst defensive things. I need to find more defense in this. Maybe, you know what? I'm also cutting a repeating deflection, putting the outpace in there. Aggressive attack. Recur random attack. Apply to vulnerable. I mean, that would be the kind of card that I would want to do the foresighting stuff with. Spirit Walk, deal She, Ghost, Desync, and Nuts. Not currently holding any gems. That'd be super valuable with 3 volatile copies of the next attack played. Get added to your hand. Yeah, that'd be really difficult to generate the ability to actually use them. Unless I did it with Mind Blast. There's another combination strike. I don't need that. Clairvoyance for delay block 15. I really need instantaneous block right now. Oh, God. It's been the Pyramite and the Pyre killing us a lot of the time here. Maybe I just Potion of Stealth the opening of this? I think I do. I'm very worried they just kill me. So I might as well try and find the best way for them not to just suddenly do that. I want them to do it later, you know? I can get into Zen next turn if I play no cards after I get into Zen this turn. Not too bad of an idea, to be entirely honest. So what? I get 3 energy. So I have 5 energy next turn, as well as I'm in Zen. Yeah. Yeah, that's a turn. Okay. Let's start with some leverage. Okay. Move into unbalanced strike territory. That Pyramite is now dead. This one over here, 10, 6. Maybe I even go for the Pyre with these. Then there's 8 incoming next turn. That's literally just from the burn. Do I save Outpace in hand for the next turn? I think I do. Blocks for 20 for 2 energy. It's not bad. Blocks for 18 for 2 energy. Still not bad. Okay, let's go Lashing into Combination. Not the card I wanted to draw there. Really? Literally the bottom card of the deck? Thanks. This Purge on this as well, Foresight's a card that's already Forsworn. Forsworn in 25 years ago. Yeah, I think I just do straight Purge my hand though, right? Reduce the burning as much as I can, reduce the incoming damage as much as possible. Wait, what? This reshuffled my deck? Wait, so if you don't have a valid foreseen target in your deck, because you've already got all of them foreseen, it reshuffles your draw? So I'm not getting to that, unless Sneak Attack is on top of the deck now. That's wild. Yeah, no, it's definitely not on top of the deck. You know, you can get my 2 foreseen cards right now. Oh my god. Yeah, balance strike, then play the Mind of a Matter, just getting those 2 cards back in hand. Wow. I mean, like, I'm getting a lot of aggression out on the field. Just not defending myself at all. 28-18, that's not enough for lethal. That's where that hit goes, though. Virtual Lashing for a combination strike? Yeah, sure. Should have done that in the other order. Well, there's our 8 pace. We can't play that many cards left. Right? You 141, so the Pyre won't die, which means the other Pyre won't die. Which means I have to use Lashing Kick, which means I can't play Outpace afterwards. Wait, this costs 0 energy. Yeah, because it's foreseen. So what if I just, like, Purge Lashing, play Outpace, and then use this? There we go. Solved. And now the incoming damage is very minor. Mind Blast! Mind Blast! Mind Blast! Culmination Strike! Double repeating deflection, and then hard pass the rest of this, getting to a total of 7 on the pendant focus. Could be worse, could be better. And I want to play ideally 2 attacks this turn and still have the enemy go down. 2, that'll do it. We get all of these basically as high as we possibly could have. 160. Ooh, when you have no active chain, any card played will count as having chain 1. That just gets us into Zen way faster. Yeah, we'll be taking that. No ifs, ands about that one. Purple Voidstone. That 1,000 Fists, I actually want a yellow Voidstone in, have the ability to use it for a significant amount of defense. I mean, defend 8, right? That's significant. Mind of Matter. No, because if I am putting the Voidstone in that, it is a green Voidstone. We are gonna get another green Voidstone, but I don't think I'm getting another green Voidstone, so I'm probably not going with that build anymore. Just gonna put this in a combination strike, to be honest. One of the cards that I know that I try and play consistently whenever I draw it. Look at the spellbook. Bacon Bomb, yeah, still not gonna be relevant in this fight. Veiled Watcher, that becomes stronger as I draw out weakness cards. I mean, maybe they have decent frenzy by the end of the fight, and then the sneak attack is worthwhile against them, but I'm not going to be counting on it. Not going to be holding my breath. First card counts as having chain 1. So combination strike just gets us into... Oh my god, that's so cool. I mean, I always end up purging Mind of Matter here, so let's just purge that and then make the combination strike cost less. Outpace probably goes out of this hand as well, and we keep the Duck and Weave for the next turn. Sneak attack seems like it's not enough damage to really justify a turn position in this turn, though. So 1,000 and then Lashing. We leave 3. We get into the Pendant of Focus next turn. We play the Duck and Weave next turn. We also use our spell next turn. Oh, Mind Blast! Did you expel that? You did expel that. Rude. How very, very rude. This turn is definitely invariably going to be leveraged, though. Okay. As much as I do want to split the love. Actually, let's do that. Yeah, we'll set up the light clockwork to give this the double play. 1. Combination strike comes back to hand. Ooh, Better Future can be the card that I drop here. Sure. 2 more cards they get to play before I'm out of combo. That one's not even dead yet. duck and weave past... Probably decel, to be honest. And then just get rid of the lashing kick from hand. Sure. So getting one target off the board there was literally just a prevention of incoming damage. If 18 is as low as I can get it, 18 is as low as I can get it. Let's flash and combo our way out of this one. Wow. That's a lot of damage. And I can do it against you, and then I can do it against someone else as well. Hang on. Enraged Morning, increase your frenzy by 1. I can't slow you enough to slow you for the next turn, so... But you still get more damage from these things being played, so do that. Defend, defend. I'm leaking HP right now, and I really don't like it. Every single fight, I'm just losing a reasonable amount of HP, somewhere between 10 and 30. It's, you can see that with 27 health remaining, that's not viable to keep going at that rate. Okay, those 2 targets on the board are already dead. I don't need to do anything to them anymore. Okay, this is going to be a purge on Mind Over Matter for sneak attack. Get to double play the next attack that I use? Sure. I'll still do that. And then I want as much like single turn defense next turn as I can get, because I'm probably going to need it. Guess that's just repeating deflection, repeating deflection. Oh, never mind. The incoming damage from this final Veiled Watcher is just 3. Perfect. Next turn, that sneak attack actually does damage. So here I'm going to repeating deflection, repeating deflection. I don't want to slow you. It's better off to do. Wait, I didn't even need to do the slow. I forgot. I got chain 1 on the first card I cast. Thought I had to cast those 3 in order to get into chain. Okay. Sneak attack and combo strike. Get through. Get rid of that Bane. Purge those 2 and end the turn, and then I got duck and weave. So I'm just playing around, keeping that pendant focus as high as possible here. Which only works if I actually manage to kill this turn, which I'm not going to. Well, I tried to plan around it, and then I, to put it as kindly as I possibly could, I outsmarted myself. To put it in the other way, I did a dumb thing. Saying that I outsmarted myself is a way to feel better about it. It's like when, you know, it's like when you would get critiqued in some way in school as a child, and teachers or parents would say, "Oh, too smart for their own good." That is just a way of saying, bit of a dick. It's like, yeah, I've said it before. It's like calling a child an old soul. It's like, child's a bit of a dick. I know. Because I both was a bit of a dick and was called both. Weren't necessarily warranted outside of just being a dick. Time Warp. Huge strike will trigger at the end of the turn. Purge for chain 1. Purge for chain 1. That's like, oh. How many, I got 1 more upgrade available at this point. Sneak attack is a very important, a very important instant kill here for us. Yeah, I'll take an instant kill. Hang on. 1, 2, 3. So I can get this up to a total of 4. So so I can't return the sneak attack back to my hand utilizing it. That's fine. We'll start the next turn in Zen. That's going to be useful. I'm going to hard purge this hand, and I think 1,000 Fists is going to be our 0 costed there. We start the next turn in Zen. We also return the first card we play back to our... There we go. Return the first card we play back to our hands. So you will, like, a single lashing kick takes down that target there. Let's go 1,000 Fists, 1,000 Fists. Use a single lashing kick over on the left, get that kill. I'm also going to go Better Future to return the sneak attack back to the top of the deck. Could also return Outpace. No, but the Outpace isn't going to go off. Okay. I'll also return that one to the top of the deck. That one. You know that one. That one we've all been talking about constantly. Okay, I'll play both. I was gonna not play them for the sake of getting one charge into the pendant, but honestly, not having to defend this turn gives us the ability to be pretty aggressive. Sneak attack. I mean, as much as I want to use Combination Strike first, I really want the Combination Strike to draw. So a Combination Strike into Sneak Attack would, what? 25% extra on 70, so 70 breaks down to 35, 35 breaks down to 17.5, 17.5 on top of this. Rounds, I don't know if this game rounds up or rounds down. I should really figure that out at some point. But if it rounds up, that's 18 extra damage, 88, not enough to kill. Okay, I probably don't care about it then. We'll use the sneak attack first. Drop a sick combo strike right there. Let's purge those two, get another combo strike, getting that kill. Well, I mean, gets that kill next turn. I mean, 1,000 Fists returns to hand here if I use it. 28 damage. It's not a huge amount of damage on the Taxidermist itself. Okay, so we get 11 incoming damage. Next turn, both of the Unholy Creations die unless they get healed. Yeah, no, they die before they can get healed from that effect. I could duck and weave double purge this turn. Not that bad. That vulnerability actually matters still as well. Sure, I'm going to do that. And I'll duck and weave past Bane. Go to final card from hand. Use leverage? I think I'm going to be in this fight long enough that leverage is reasonable here. Am I going to be in this fight long enough? Hang on, maybe that's a really failed assessment there, because that sneak attack is a lot of damage against that taxidermist right now. Okay, what's foreseen in this deck? Nothing is foreseen in this deck. Target's not slow, so this doesn't trigger multiple times. Well, I mean, it triggers enough times still. I have so few cards I want to play at the start of my combo chain. Like, literally, it's just that Mind Blast. There's the sneak attack. It's even a better future to put it directly back atop our hand if we want to. This even actually, never mind, it returns instantaneously to our hand. so fine. I think I'm just gonna take my kill. Let's Mind Blast the ever-loving heck out of him. Kick him a whole bunch too. Okay, we actually may need some serious dedicated block to round out this fight at the end because of those Banes. Sorry, 43 and 14. Okay, so the target on the left is dead. You're slowed as well. Oh! Oh my god! Okay, so putting a single slow on these enemies is actually removing all of their frenzy. That's what I was encountering beforehand. Yeah, because... Yeah, okay, okay. It's weird. Let's get past that Bane. Also, gosh, that's extremely helpful. Whew. Otherwise, we would have had a real bad time of a lot of different things we've tried so far. This upgrade point maybe goes into the time warp. I mean, outpace becoming block 18, block 3 for each stack of fatigue against all creatures. I've been looking for defense. That's a defensive card. It's big. It's purge for chain 1. I mean, energy is also a problem for us, and this is like a really good purge target. It's also something I could reasonably play. Fine, I'll take it. I'm gonna cut a kick, pop that in the deck. All right, defensive attack. This is Dolus. Okay, Dolus. I do want all alone in the deck if I'm fighting Dolus. I'll cut a lashing. But other than this, honestly, we probably don't really change how we fight at all. We also only have 1 stealth potion. So that's the only other justification, change I could really make there, rather. Wizard Hat, if you're on with 0 energy, get an overcharge. Dragon Egg, as well as the Pickled Hand. Pickled Hand is reasonable, and I do have some purge strats going on, but at the same rate, I tend to want to play most of the cards in my hand. Is this going to be more energy than this? Is it going to be more energy, I think, still? I don't know if Foresight will override the Dolus effect here. Wait, if you have no active chain, any card played will have chain 1. Never mind. Okay, sorry. Quickly set that one back up again. I thought I was going to be able to do it in the alternate order, but no is the answer to that. No, not going to be able to do that. Pickly Hand. Be all alone again. Okay, yeah, so the costs are changed, which does unfortunately help me here as well. Chain 1. Increase chain by an extra amount. It has to be ability chain that gives us, right? You know what? I'm going to test it right now. Give myself a little bit more information for the future. So if I purge that, actually I got into Zen. So we'll continue any active chain, but if it establishes the chain, it establishes it as a... as specifically a chain of... Ryan, how did you forget this quickly? You were just talking about it. As a chain of abilities. There we go. Let's double combo strike here. Boo. 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 Now that's damage. Kind of want to set the leverage up if I'm about to use all the all alone for 54. That's damage, mate. Actually, it's more if I use it next turn for the vulnerability still, so we'll leave it for the next turn, but still, oh my god. 1,000 Fists, all alone. Purge the Mind of Matter for a sneak attack costing less, I guess. purchase this for a bunch of energy, but I could also just attack one time with it, incrementing the light clockwork. Interesting. Do I try and generate enough offense here to kill this turn before I take damage? Or do I go the complete opposite direction? So that's 16. I can do that 2 times over easily. Getting us a total of 32 on there. Wait, 16 is... Hang on, so if I put it down here, that's 5 twice. So yeah, it's counting the vulnerability. It's counting the vulnerabilities. 32. 1, 8, 5. We're literally just short after the back of that. Although we also do get to draw the top of the deck. Which is more than likely going to be aggressive. That'll do it. Then I outpace, deflect, and better future, just in case I somehow awfully countered here. Never mind, all good on that front. We have so many souls. That soul collector is going to be a giant game changer for us. Chosen Champion, Lost Spirit, Dark Courtesan, as well as the Unholy King. We may save some of our souls so we have the ability to dupe something better at the Dark Mine, which it seems like we're probably also going to path into. I'm going to adjust this deck by taking that back out, putting a Lashing Call back in. That Union... Is that anything? 2 Future Strike 5 times. So with Fatigue, Future Strike is inflicted an additional time equal to the target's fatigue, so it's only 2 more Future Strike on that. I don't know about this. This would actually be way better for like a fatigue setup if it was deal 10 Future Strike and then deal 2 Shi 5 times. Because the 2 Shi would become 3 Shi 5 times with 1 fatigue, and then the 10 Future Strike would become 20 Future Strike with 1 fatigue. Whereas here, with 1 fatigue, it's 2 Future Strike 6 times and deal 11 Shi. Like, it's exactly inverted. You want to do multiple small instances of Shi and single large instances of Future Strike. I mean, obviously, that's a balanced consideration that's being made here. It's just interesting that it happens to be that way. Is this card good? I don't think so. Yes? No. Not for this deck? Maybe. I have so much difficulty using heavy cards. To the point that, like, I've used so few over the course of my experience with this game that I don't know. Like, am I about to use a heavy run, a heavy card rather, in some future run and then completely 180 on it? I don't know. Because I do that all the time in games like this. It's just, I don't think this is the run where I find that out. All right, Unholy Court. This one. Combo strike with a double draw. I think it attacks 28 damage right now, but I don't think that's worth it. Chosen Champion is 60. King, Courtesan. I mean, we should go for the Chosen Champion first. Definitely. So we'll unbalance. Draw. Okay, ideally I want to leave myself with 3 cards to play next turn. Unfortunately, I also don't have the ability to slow here. Outside of using decel, so I don't have the ability to get this slowed and weakened, but I can decrease the incoming damage by 9. So I'll do that. Then I decrease the incoming damage by 5. I'll purge a sneak attack. I think I probably need outpace next turn. Really? Do I need outpace next turn? 1 energy for 14 block. Yeah, oh, I definitely need that next turn. not considering that I might need that is why the attrition is really getting to me right now, right? It's the big problem. I can even bet a future to put it back atop my deck. If I really wanted to. No, wait, because I don't get into Zen this turn, so I don't draw. 1,000 Fists. I kind of want to outpace 1,000 Fists and then just bet a future the outpace and 1,000 Fists back to the top of the deck. So why don't I? That's a great question. 1,000 Fists. Outpace. But a future pops the 1,000 Fists as well as the... What's my incoming damage next turn? 27. Yeah, the outpace goes back atop the deck. Never mind. I can purge Mind Over Matter to make the outpace cost 0. So it's an easy card to play at the start of the next turn. And then I can also leave Quicken Weave in hand. Hey! Unholy King, what's yours is mine. The top card of your deck is discarded, gains 1 frenzy. Yep, that's totally my fault. I should have seen that that was there. Oh, you got me. You really got me going. You got me so I don't know where I'm going. Get rid of Time Warp here, I think. Yeah, it's not really going to contribute to good chains next turn. Okay, that's a kill instantaneously if I want it. And I do. Just kind of angling here to get more block, but well, apparently that's not happening. Okay, 11 HP. Soul Collector. I'm very scared about the future now. 61 incoming damage next turn. Thankfully, the Chosen Champion is dying and the Dark Courtesan is dying, so it's only 16 actual incoming damage next turn. But it still makes me nervous to see that number. Yeah. Oh? Yeah. Oh? Yeah. Actually, it'll only be 8 incoming. So if both of those die, the king is just left by themselves on the field. Do we use leverage here? Sure. So it costs me 1 damage there, but I guarantee that the Pendant of Focus is going to be available at the right time. Hey, that Time Warp's not bad here either. Yeah, that Time Warp was actually part of a legitimate turn. We go... Time Warp into Duck and Weave. Duck and Weave drops better future. Right? We purge these 2 cards. Not going to be able to keep the Light Clockwork high, I think, here. Yeah, so I Mind Blast, then I Light 1,000 Fists, 1,000 Fists, get the kill. Use another Mind Blast, end my turn. It gets that kill. We leave the Pendant Focus on a good charge. One Soul Collector saved my life. Health Potion pack is huge. Butcher's Blade, Delay Stones, Phantom Bolus. The Butcher's Blade is the first attack card played each turn will rebound. Oh my god, that's giant for us. Whilst in Zen, your card play limit is increased by 2. That is a giant combo piece with a Pendant of Focus as well. Phantom Bolus, when an enemy Shi passes over half their current HP, that's not going to be relevant. So I could take the Butcher's Blade as well as the Delay Stones and the Health Potion. As much as I want that Yellow Void Stone, I need the Health Potion to continue living right now. That Dark Mime is harder to visit, right? I could just go treasure and leave. I honestly could. And it actually might be the path I need to take for the sake of my safety. For the sake of my safety. Memento Mori, deal damage equal to half of the target's future strike. Slate transfer, that should be, yeah, okay, that's not gonna be super relevant here. Yeah, I think it's just treasure time. Is there a place for that Bring the Thunder in the deck? Siphon, Rage 50. Siphon effects trigger a number of times equal. So this could give us just like Rage 200% on the right turn. No. Sidestep for the energy as well then. X equal to twice your current energy. This is also just a 0 cost card. That's why we take it. It's a 0 cost card. The Hag. If I... as I target her with an attack card, she'll reflect damage back at me. Also, her Frenzy gains as the fight goes on. With her Frenzy going up as the fight goes on, I think I actually may need both of my health potions right now. At least for this and the next fight, I'm probably going to need both those health potions, so I'm going to use them now. We need as much of our damage to be very, very, very concentrated as possible. Which is not what this deck does well. So I'm going to cut 2 Lashing Kicks from the deck and just put 2 Repeating Deflections back in here. And another Lashing Kick and a Better Future. So it's going to be really hard for us to get into Zen for the right turns, but ideally, what we're going to be doing is utilizing Thousand Fists and Sneak Attack is basically the only attacks that we use against the enemy. I mean, Combination Strikes as well for the draw. All alone? I mean, the Hag is all alone here. Sure. So your bad memories, each time you cast your spell, take the value item. Boots of Quickness, if you start turn with 3 less energy, add a volatile sidestep to your hand. Sure, that's just chain combo. Chain combo. I'm not actually very enthused by any of this. That Mind Over Matter is also feeling pretty bad in the deck at the point. Alright, Sneak Attack. Enemy gains Frenzy as the fight goes on. Each time I draw a Bane, the enemy increases their Frenzy. Yeah, that's what's going on. Okay, also, whenever I attack the creature, before it resolves, I suffer 6 threat. So I can actually just fix that with a sidestep immediately. First attack card rebounds as well. That rebounds. We draw and we get overcharge. That's volatile. Hang on. This is actually really good. Right? 8, 3/3, 8/3/3 is enough to block us. How many cards would I have to play? I'm perching Sneaky Strike. So hang on, I play this for 4. Effectively, can I use All Alone this turn is my question. And then end on 2 for the Pendant of Focus so that I get into Zen next turn. I think I can. All Alone for a giant amount of damage. Should have done the sidestep first. That was the plan. That was like the plan. That was the reason I was doing it like that. So, oops. And then back atop the deck. I mean, look, all alone going back atop the deck is totally reasonable here, I think. Up 2 damage. Start this turn in Zen. I mean, look, I can set up vulnerability and then I can all alone. As much as I may take 12 damage for doing this, it's the correct thing to do. Oh, interesting. Butcher's Blade. First attack will rebound. And there's also, like Clockwork, is return to your hand instead of your discard, which is rebound, right? So like Clockwork says every 6th attack card rebounds. But they can't both happen at once. So I need to make sure that this is never on 5 at the end of my turn. Interesting, that. A combo strike for a fair bit of draw here. Okay. And he's hexing this turn. Purge for chain 1. Future strike triggers the end. I mean, Future strike already triggers the end of this turn, so that's not relevant. So I'm going to use it next turn instead. I'm going to keep that. Sure. I don't know, it's possible I try and set up a giant effect this turn. Okay. I like that that says hex now. Hex that. So if I can't kill this turn, I don't want to attack at all. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I can kill. 1, 2, 3. And then 1,000 Fists rebounds. Strike will trigger at the end of this turn. Yeah. 1,000 Fists rebounds. We use Time Warp. I'll also... Yeah, I'll Duck and Weave. Better Future. Just get as much defense as possible. In case something wacky went on. Up to a merchant. Shield Bash. Recharge. Applying slow to an enemy will also deal 8 Future Strike. Totally reasonable as well. This Shield Bash and Recharge both look really, really interesting. That's just like a single large amount of block on a card. Still a thing that I'm looking for. Obviously, it's also too vulnerable. I'm running a little bit of a deficit of vulnerable in the deck at the moment. The Recharge has the ability to recur a card, and oh my god, does recurring a card not ridiculously help us? There are some very specific cards that I want to play constantly, and some that I never want to play at all. I'm taking Recharge upgraded. Okay, so we were balanced for the Hag fight. Creature and its minions can both buff each other, providing a constant choice in regard to active target priority. So what we're going to be doing is just like trying to build up fatigue on the Blood Hive while we counter their minions. And then after there's maybe 3 fatigue on the Blood Hive, so after battle round 6, so as soon as we get to battle round 7, that's when we're going to want to turn and burn against the Blood Hive themselves. They're never going to be all alone. Happy to take that out of the deck instantaneously. That sidestep really ought to be in there, though. I could see the value in that health potion. Take the second better future out of the deck with the Recharge. Then I'm going to cut a repeating deflection for a lashing kick. And another repeating deflection for another lashing kick. Yeah. Yeah, I feel better about this balance now. Okay. Let's go, Blood Hive. So, frenzy values are extremely low to begin with. Means the cards that I want to foresee are going to be simple too. If I don't care about vulnerability this turn, there's actually a really interesting way to get into trance. Or rather Zen, sorry. So that would be playing Sidestep. Gets us 2 pips. We purge Mind Over Matter, foreseeing a card. We use Recharge, getting the Mind Over Matter back in hand. Gets us into Zen. We purge Mind Over Matter. We see another card. So far, literally, like, I've used 1 energy. So I'm down on 2 energy, but I've also purged 2 cards. So I'm up 1 energy. And then, effectively, this is, instead of vulnerability this turn, I get more energy. Is that better? That's better. That's a lot better. 1, purge. And that also gives me the ability to foresee, like, both of the combination strikes in the deck. That's really good. Recharge, gets back Mind Over Matter, purge the Mind Over Matter again in order to get the second combination strike to cost less. Oh my god. I can get both of the blood bags down next turn using the leverage. Because this returns to hand. 1, 2. Unfortunately, we did leave the clock on 5. The thing that I said that I need not to do. I could have actually denied myself a card play that turn in order to make that better. Yeah, maybe that would have worked. Okay. There's our leverage, which is the cost that you must pay in order to access the Star of Reading Rainbow. That's why Troy had to leave Community. It's I know it's weird, but they had to pay the bottom line. They had to pay the leverage. How much more defense can I really get out this turn? Very, very little. Okay, I'm pretty scared now. I'm also not getting my volatiles because I played out too many cards. I'm not going to get into the Pendant of Focus next turn either. This is actually starting to feel real bad. I'll leave a Time Warp in hand next turn. No, because I desperately need to try and actually find more. No. We killed those 2, so we don't need to block that much this turn. Dang. Dang. Yeah, Sneak Strike really didn't need to be in this deck. This one returns to hand as well again, rather. Nice. One more over there. Unfortunately, because I didn't keep the Time Warp in hand, it's going to be a little worse for us. Maybe I should keep that Outpace as a result then. Actually, I can use the Time Warp this turn. We use Duck and Weave to discard the Time Warp. We use Recharge to get the Time Warp back in hand. We play the Time Warp. That's what we do here. I'm going to drop Better Future. Okay, so Duck and Weave, Time Warp to the discard pile. We use Recharge to get the Time Warp back from the discard pile. We have 2 more plays here. Can I get back into Zen after this, maybe? Probably not. So this turn, both the Fever and the Blood Bag are dead. My incoming damage ought be 0. Yeah, all creatures gain 3 AP. That dies before it's poisoned. Yeah, so my incoming damage is 0. Regardless of what the screen says. And then I triple purge for a Sneaky Strike for 25 damage. 25 damage? Really? Or maybe I just go into the next turn with more energy. Or Sidestep, 2 onto the chain. Purge 2 more cards, decel. We start the chain, and then we get into the Zen next turn. Unfortunately, it's the first one that returns to your hand, so, I mean, I could Lash and Kick to start out here, but why not just Combination Strike? More damage. We also get the Future Strike at the end of this turn as well, so I can try and go for the Flesh Flies here again. I just have to make sure that there is some damage, or some Future Strike rather, on the Blood Hive so that I can get to the 3 fatigue that I'd previously mentioned. 1,000 Fists. That really wants me to try and turn and burn now, doesn't it? I mean, look, the first 1,000 Fists definitely goes against the mid lane. Now does the next. One, two, three. Okay. Unfortunately, again, we left like clockwork in the worst position possible. The Bloodhive is actually attacking this turn, so defending would be reasonable. I don't know if I will, though. No, I'm going to get all the extra energy, go up to 6 energy for the next turn. He is hoping I have the ability to block 6 naturally. Hey, sidestep in hand. Yeah, that'll block 6 naturally. Yeah, sidestep, decel doesn't seem that bad as a start here. Sidestep, decel. We just start returning cards back to hand constantly. Go back to hand. Go back to hand. Okay, like clockwork, so I can Mind Blast, Lashing, 1,000 Fists, 1,000 Fists. That recharge is good to stay in hand here. I need to get into combo next turn. Zen next turn, rather. And then leave. Or, like, end my... No, but if I end my turn, the Bloodhive just dies when we win. Yeah. Just in case something happens, I'm just going to defend there a little. Yeah. I knew it was fine, but I've been doing that constantly just in case. Really? Come on. I really, really, really wanted the upgrade here. Booster pack doesn't make any sense. I mean, unless I'm desperately looking for something like a decel or something, but I think I'm fine. Let's go the random Void Stones. Oh, they are both green! But Calm isn't upgraded. That only works if Calm's upgraded. Wait, does it only work if Calm's upgraded? I can get 2 cards into my opening hand. Hang on. I think there's a play here. Hang on. The play is Mind Over Matter with a rig, so it's in my opening hand. It doesn't even change my deck to do this. Mind Over Matter with the rig, right? And then Recharge gets rigged as well. Both of those go into the opening hand. So on the opening turn, I purge Mind Over Matter. I recharge, bringing it back. I purge Mind Over Matter again. Then 3 cards in the deck have Foresight on them. Then I wouldn't have the ability to get the Mind Over Matter back into hand. But it also does give us the... Well, I mean, if we... So I could get 2 cards in my opening hand, right? Purge the Mind Over Matter, recharge, bring back the Mind Over Matter, play the Mind Over Matter, then I'm in Zen, and I also get whatever card I made foresighted with the... with the Crystal Ball, as well as the Mind Over Matter. So I get to get... I just get 2 cards that I get to set up on turn 1. The only thing is, what are the 2 cards that I really want to set up on turn 1 constantly here, right? Anything? Is there anything that I actually do that with? Because what is a strong start to this deck? Honestly, I think I do the same thing, but I think I no longer use Mind Over Matter for that. Like, I think I literally just use it for Purge Foresight, and I just try and get 3 Foresights on the first turn as well as recharge out there. I mean, look, not only is that recharge going to happen, but on the first turn, we will start with 3 energy, right? So we will have a volatile sidestep, so we will have the ability to get into the thing off of that. Sure, let's do it. Mind Over Matter, socket, recharge, socket. Void spawns with 1 less frenzy. That seems very, 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 very important to us. Purging a card, blocking 3 also seems like it's quite relevant to us. Starting with random potion, no. Delay of luck 6. Okay, blood give me blood is target creature removes all bleed. You heal for that much. If they aren't suffering bleed, they inflict 15 bleed instead. So if I really want to, I could swap for blood in order to go into a single fight, right? So what is 15 plus 14 plus 13 plus blah, 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 all the way down, right? I know that 5 down is 15. I know that 10 down is 51. So it's 51 plus 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So 11 and 15 pair to 16, 26. 12 and 14 pair to 26. So that's 52 so far, and then 13 on top of that is 65. So it's 65 plus 51 for a total of 111. Over 15 turns, mind. 111 over 15 turns. That seems good. That seems more impactful than my current ability. God, I may end up using it in a fight here. Blessing of the Stalwarts. Blessing of Quick Step. Obsidian Golem's actually pretty hard for us as well. Has the ability to clear debuffs. That's fine. I do slow enemies. But my Future Strike and my She are not debuffs. I think also Fatigue's not a debuff. They can consistently apply poison when they are keeping their queen safe. Okay, how would I manage my deck for this fight? Potion of Stealth for the first time? Actually wouldn't be surprised by that. Sure. Is there anything else that I think would heavily modify this deck? I mean, look, do I want to get State of Mind in here, right? Foresheet all enemies occasionally? Maybe? I mean, that becoming a card that is foreseen is not awful. Got another Lashing Strike from the deck. Let's go in. So a foreseen card. Foresee State of Mind. Okay. First attack gets charged back to hand. 1,000 Fists is going to be that attack for us. If the Weaver starts its turn with 1 or more conditions, suffer weakened 2. I really don't want to have weakened 2 on me. Okay, so we Mind Over Matter, recharge Mind Over Matter, sidestep. I may actually then use the Better Future to put the sidestep and recharge back atop the deck, giving me like a defensive core. Also upgrading that sidestep, that's important. So it actually gives us energy back. All I know is my attacks definitely occur at the end of this hand. What's that help me decide? I mean, sneak attack is pretty relevant here with Frenzy 3 on these targets already. Okay, recharge, getting back Mind Over Matter. We use Mind Over Matter again. Use that on the combination strike that gets us the best draw. We sidestep. First attack gets returned to hand. It's 28 damage. You're the one that I want to slow. Enter my web. If you lose HP, the Queen of Ages removes all debuffs. Yeah, that's the one I want to slow. So 1, 2, slow you. I'm making sure we get fatigue across the board, but I mean, we're getting fatigue across the board with the leverage next turn anyway. Maybe I didn't need to do that. Okay, we also have 4 cards left in this end state that we get to play. I am going to pop... I mean, we're stealth this turn, right? So I can get real aggressive next turn, possibly. I could even 1,000 Cuts recharge or some such. Don't want to use leverage this turn. Okay. There's State of Mind. Good pickup. There's also Time Warp. I'm going to keep that in hand for the next turn, actually. Okay. Let's definitely use the leverage. 1,000 Fists is not yet a kill on a target, but it's not that far. So if I was to recharge, I'd be pulling out Sneak Attack and Combination Strike here. That would be recharging into Mind Over Matter using Mind Over Matter this turn. Sure. Let's recharge in Mind Over Matter. Pop the Mind Over Matter. State of Mind needs to be played, but it doesn't need to be played in Zen because it's already 0 cost. So 44. That's actually... That's a kill on that Weaver this turn. I mean, this prevents a significant amount of damage. So yeah. Kill both of those. And we even get the 1,000 Cuts back again. Purge D-Cell? God, it's really hard to purge D-Cell right now. But I think it's right. Purge Outpace there too. Purging one more card is actually really good too. 42. 42, 44. God, I think I purged State of Mind, actually. Okay, 44. 42. Next turn, I'll have 5 energy at the start of the turn. Yeah, so no matter what I do here, I'm not really changing that. Okay, end turn. 1 dead. 2 dead. Queen's having a real bad time. That's another green Void Stone! Crisis alert! Green Void Stones everywhere! We could... I've been watching Community recently, what of it? What, could you tell? It's the 4th or the 5th time I've rewatched it over the course of the pandemic. It's become my... These are my friends that I am hanging out with in the background kind of like thing, right? I really want the Unbalanced Strike to go off, or rather I really want the Time Warp as well, just so they can start stacking more fatigue on the enemies. You want that to go off this time? I can set up more vulnerability here. It's a bit difficult at the moment to set up vulnerability. Oh my god, you are I bought the card and then I didn't even put it in the... Did I not buy the card? What? What? Did? Wait. I could have sworn I purchased... No. I went for a different card, like a 1,000 Fists or something, right? I went for a rare card instead of the block 15 2 damage, 2 vulnerability, rather. Sorry. Got him. That combination strike returns to hand if I play it now. Sure. Do I play it against the Queen of Ages, though? God, I actually think we're like in kill the Queen of Ages as quickly as possible terms. Well, if that's where I feel like we are, we should probably do it. 26. How am I going to block 26 this turn? It's a good and relevant question, I feel. Carefully? So 12, 15, 19 right now. I can purge that unbalanced strike without feeling too bad about it. Got 6 card plays left as well. Okay, I'm not getting into Zen at the start of the next turn. I'm going to purge the unbalanced strike. I may even end up purging Mind Blast here, or even keeping it in hand for the next turn. No, I'm not going to keep it in hand for the next turn. Sweet. 6, 12, 12. We can block 24 this turn and get 10 blocked next turn, or 10 blocked prior to next turn as well. Maybe I don't even need to make... No, I do. The more fatigue on the target, the far better off we're going to be. Okay. Fine. Purge Mind Strike. Use that. Use Time Warp. Then I... Defend. Duck and Weave. And the Duck and Weave gets us past. Honestly, probably State of Mind. Don't want that anymore. Want the State of Mind if I'm setting it up in turn 1 on turn 2, but... Unfortunately, due to the other cards that I had, really couldn't afford to do that, I don't think. 57 incoming damage next turn. Okay, really not what I wanted. Okay, I've got my Mind Over Matter and Recharge back in hand, so I can do the whole Mind Over Matter Recharge turn again. I can even better future some cards to the top of the deck, try and get myself some defense set up. Neither of those are really good targets for that, though. Is there any way I can get Sift into the current hand? Yes, I use Recharge, put Sift in the current hand. And then I could use the Recharge to discard Outpace. Sorry, use the Sift to discard Outpace and then use Better Future to get that back to the top of the deck for the next turn. I think I have to do that. Mind Over Matter gives us at the moment no cards. Okay. Recharge finds Duck and Weave. I mean, Duck and Weave is also all of our block this turn, but we also play Better Future as well, so... Duck and Weave, discards... Is there any way that it's like just 1,000 Fists and we go for the kills? So 1,000 Fists is 7 Future Strike twice. However, with 2 Fatigue, it's 7 Future Strike 4 times, and it triggers an extra time to descend. So it's 7 Future Strike 4 times is 28, 2 of those is 56. I'd be able to combo cast it 2 times. It's not enough. I mean, it's 100. It's something. It's just not enough. Something. Gosh. Sorry, I'm really stalling on this turn because this is going to be the turn that matters, you see. Mind Over Matter always gets purged here, doesn't it? Yes, but it gets purged next turn. Okay. We discard the Outpace. To the top of the deck, I put Duck and Weave and Outpace. Yes. Better Future, Outpace, Duck and Weave. And then I use Mind Over Matter to decrease the cost of the Outpace, to guarantee that it's super castable next turn. Then I play one card and I purge the other one here. We get into Zen at the start of the next turn instantaneously. Okay. Unfortunately, we set up no Future Strike that turn, so he didn't get the extra fatigue I was looking for, but I'd like to live. I think that'd be a pretty good strat if we stay alive, actually. Interestingly. So Outpace and Duck and Weave. I mean, we're already in Zen. I don't have to worry about Outpace and Duck and Weave yet. Sidestep. Purpose. Queen of Age gains Fortitude equal to 5% of her max HP and clears negative traits. Not considered a debuff. Not considered a debuff. Okay, so it's not going to clear any negative traits. Inflicts 2 frenzy, 2 days rather. Inflicts its increases frenzy by 1. I could drop a lashing kick this turn. Well, how much block do I already have access to? Right, this by itself is 18 plus 3 plus 3, total of 24. 24, 12, 36. So yeah, I actually do need as much defense as I can find from the cards. We'll drop the lashing kick. Use the sidestep as large as we can get one. I probably should have dropped the decel actually before doing that as well. Oops. And we Duck and Weave. Time Warp. I mean, this is round 5. So yeah, Time Warp really won't make sense next turn except for trying to get us into Zen. And we Outpace. Throw a single defend as well. Got leverage set up for the next turn too. That's good. Yeah, we got 78 incoming damage next turn, so we need to win, like, right now. So if I 1,000 cuts first, 1,000 fists first, rather, it'll return to my hand. Then I can use Combination Strike, getting us into Zen. I can use 1,000 fists again 2 times. Good. Purge on balance and combination. Yeah, purge on balance into combination, I think, here. No, wait, if I just keep all of my damage, I get the kill, like, guaranteed. Yeah, let's discard that card. Sure. $24, never mind, it doesn't kill yet. 2 more casts, get back the unbalanced strike. Again. Now it kills. Very, very pleased with my play right there, to be honest. Calm. I'm not going to be fatiguing creatures on turn 1, so I'm still not utilizing that. I mean, I get a bit clarity, opening hands. Green Voidstone, try and do the whole combo play I was previously trying to do. So that would be what? It would be Purge Mind Over Matter. I mean, it's also worth noting, having 3 cards that have a rig on them, right, means that my opening hand is less likely to already contain the card that I gave the rigging to with the, or foresight to, rather, with the crystal ball. So it means I'm more likely to draw more cards from it. But the thing that we ran into was that making a bunch of cards 0 cost for us does not help us on turn 1. We don't have like a giant combo that goes off on turn 1, or setup even, that we really want on turn 1. I like that this has Purge Chain. That would be an interesting thing to put in the opening hand as well. You know, I could literally just put Rigged onto State of Mind, and then also at the start of each turn, like at the start of each fight, rather, use Foresight, put that in my open, rather, it's already going in my opening hand, make it rigged so that I can play it. The only problem with that is State of Mind literally only makes sense for one more fight, and it's a fight against an Obsidian Guardian that is going to be a slow fight, and I'm already going to overwhelm the enemy. I think State of Mind gets back out of the deck. I think it made sense for the previous fight, but we never had the ability to play it. Weirdly. I wonder if that defensive attack is anything. Maybe Future Strike from the... Maybe the Memento Mori is something, actually? I'm stalling too long on the decision again. I'm sorry about it. Deliberate is block in Zen. But it still only blocks 6. It's block and delay block. Putting the defensive attack in the deck, and I'm just going for the Obsidian Golem here. Let's go, bud. So, I mean, I can apply Foresight to the recharge, gain extra energy on turn 1. I'm not going to, but I could. Let's hit the defensive attack. Okay. Sneak attack is honestly 28 damage right now. Doesn't matter at all. We killed the left arm first. I found that typically to be a quite effective strategy for us. Okay, Mind Over Matter. Decrease the cost of a combo strike for us. Recharge. Bring that back. Okay, Mind Over Matter. Decrease the cost of a combination strike for us. Might as well sidestep my way into this. Use a 1,000 strike. 2 times. 3 times over. Purge one more card and play a repeating deflection at the very end as well. Cool. Okay, 26, but I have the ability to set up vulnerability with the unbalancing striker set. I wasn't actually counting on that. How much access to draw do I have? I have a little bit of access to draw, actually. So if I did unbalanced strike, then I could use Better Future. I could put 2 cards atop the deck. I'd have the combination strike. I'd have the ability to draw both of those cards. Have the ability to get the 1,000 Fists, in particular, back. But really, my problem should be whether or not I'm going to be able to find defense. So yeah, I could get like a repeating deflection back atop the deck, but that doesn't really help me here, does it? So maybe we use the combination strike here, literally just digging for defense. Right? Yeah. Found some. We'll attack with Frenzy 1. Okay, so lashing the Obsidian Golem isn't really going to matter here. So I'm going to drop that lashing. Okay, so the Mind Blast would return to hand. Or rather, it would return 2 to my hand. Not that that's great or bad either. It's fine. I'm also not going to be getting into Zen at the start of the next turn to do Dependent Focus. Sure. Okay, so the discard here, I think, what's this turn? This turn is round 2, so round 3. I'm probably going to have the Time Warp available in round 3. That seems pretty good. We'll drop the D-Cell then. I'm using D-Cell surprisingly rarely. I really thought I was going to be using it constantly here. Okay, and then final 2 plays. Literally just put 2 cards back atop the deck that I think are important. 1,000 Fists is probably one of the most important cards in the entire deck. Actually, if I put that in the Mind Blast atop the deck, Right, incoming damage is 33. Never mind. Oh, Outpace is in there. Okay, I'm going to put the Mind Blast and the Thousand Fists atop the deck then. Ow. Also, ow. But this turn, I bounce that back to my hand 2 times. I want the 1,000 to be our double. In fact, after I'm in Zen, that may actually already kill the left arm, right? 33 plus 32, 99. Yeah, that's lethal. Red Voidstone, yeah, increases the golem's AP by 2, so yeah, it's definitely lethal. As long as we play the Outpace this turn, we're fine then. So, what is the correct order? I think it's Combination Strike first. I think I need to spread the love. Honestly, they should have been getting fatigue long before now. Happy to have that defensive attack, certainly. I mean, I can get some pre-block for the next turn if I use that defensive attack correctly. Sure, let's do that. So 66, 32, that's lethal on you already. Will heal itself 5% of its max HP at the start of its turn. I'm pretty sure that won't trigger fast enough to actually save you. I am concerned though, so maybe I throw an extra Mind Blast out your direction. Just to look out for you, you know. I could actually drop this Outpace right now as well. And in fact, I believe I will. Then we need Time Warp to go off at the end of this. Fine. I'm also going to set up the extra 8 just in case. Yeah, so you took the damage and then you died before that happened. Great. Because that happens at the end of my turn rather than the start of the enemy's turn. Got it. All sorted. My God, I forgot this combo's at the top of the second deck as well. Oh, what? Yes. We just want to set up the future then. That's all we need to do. That Sneaky Strike is now pretty relevant, but I still think I start off with a defensive attack. Then sidestep with the 10 block. Yeah. Then I recharge the Might of a Matter back into hand. You're just attacking naturally, so D-Cell here is going to be good enough. So we purge the Mind of a Matter, drop it. I mean, Thousand Fists. Get away a Repeating Deflection that's unupgraded. Weaken you. Incoming damage is 21. I should use leverage this turn. $19. 2 stacks of fatigue on the enemy. So the Outpace is almost full block. I can deal with almost full block. I kind of want a Time Warp as well this turn. Sneak Attack isn't bad damage either. Huh. Alright. To make it easy on myself, though, I think I will stay away from the Sneak Attack. So let's use a Lashing Kick over here. Returns itself immediately back to the hand. Then we Lashing Kick, setting up for Combination Strike to return itself back to the hand also. Great. As long as we leave one cast as well in the Zen state, we'll have the Pendant of Focus go off at the start of the next turn, so that's great too. Another Combination Strike, nice. There's Thousand Fists. Okay. We'll purge the Sneak Attack. Play a single Outpace, and then it's Thousand Fists, and then it's Purge, and then Time Warp, I think, here? Even leaves us with exactly 1 on the send state for the sake of the pendant of focus. Maybe I should have spread out the love there a little bit just so that we get another stack of fatigue off. Yeah, I definitely should have spread out the love there. First card is hexed. Gotta keep that in mind. Yikes. All of these cards want to be played, like, first. Or rather, all of these cards want to be played. Full stop. I don't think I have the ability to utilize draw this turn. Okay. I'm going to go defensive attack. Returns to my hand. Immediately able to play again. I mean, if that Mind Blast isn't actually no, the Mind Blast gives me the ability to play the defensive attack again after this, but only if I have the ability to generate the energy to play it. Generating the energy to play it is really hard. It still only gives us, like, 5 block and 5 block, so yeah, no, I actually get rid of the defensive attack here. In fact, I'd probably get rid of that and the Mind Blast. If I purge 1 more card, I get 2 more energy, so purging this gives us 4 block, playing it gives us 3. But this also gives us 5 block next turn, if we play it. I'm going to take the block for next turn. Unfortunately, again, we have a turn that was a Future Strike turn go past without the ability to put Future Strike on the enemies. Instead of triggering, the next card you play will be discarded and not played. That's not fine. That's really not fine. All the cards I want to play are very expensive. Nothing super great is foreseen in the deck either. Why do I have to get both of the really, 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 really good targets? So the Mind Over Matter in the hand with the Mind Over Matter here. Okay. Play Mind Over Matter. Then I will outpace. Use the recharge to bring back Mind Over Matter. Purge Mind Over Matter for the sake of the sneak attack, which I think is now relevant. I can just double Thousand Fists here. Triple Thousand Fists even. Well, we've got the right arm down. Unfortunately, so goes our HP. I might just purge these 3, get my HP, my energy up to 10, and then just sidestep, repeating deflection. Yeah, I just need the biggest block that I can get access to right now. Also using that just for the weaken. That will also get us into Zen at the start of the next turn. Not bad. Leaves this in 4 scene. Okay. Slow fights are hard for us, naturally. Or at least they're hard for us to defend in. Our offense is great. Usually. Do I really want to double repeating deflection and just better future those back to the top of the deck for the sake of the next turn? Yeah, I do. Repeating, better future. get a repeating and actually sidestep back atop the deck this time. Use a combination strike, and then I can drop the time warp. Actually, do I need that sidestep this turn? No. Ooh, that D-cell's really good here too. Actually, that D-cell is just lashing kick without the lashing assigned to it as well. So never mind, we'll drop that D-cell. This is round 9, so time warp is actually useful. Get another stack of fatigue on the enemy. We've already pre-blocked your next turn. 2 different ways, in fact. We already have a foreseen card in this deck, don't we? In the sneak attack, yeah. And the enemy's not slow. Okay. So I am going to Mind Over Matter Purge on the... in Combination Strike, maybe. Just hard draw a whole deck. Yeah, on the Combination Strike. Am I really doing this? Just play the Mind Over Matter right now? Well, I actually play the sidestep first, right? For the sake of the energy. Yep. Yeah, I accidentally screwed that up because I clicked the wrong card. Whoops. It happens. So we get to double play the first thing that we play, and we also get to double play the second thing that we play. That's 28 damage. But this is 20 damage. And it's Rage. And it's draw a card. So I'm gonna Rage at him. I'll probably Rage at him. Interesting. Then after that, I might just Rage at him. That's vulnerability. I really wanted that, but I don't get to. So some damage to the next turn. No, let's Combination Strike for the draw. I can drop that sidestep because I don't intend to play it. It's also volatile, so it'll just explode. This is a very long episode, I understand, but... just but. This is all I can say. Before I slow the enemy, I should really start throwing out the sneaks. Got 2 more cards that I get to cast for free. Or rather in Zen. I do need to make sure that I slow the enemy. Okay. Slow the enemy, slow the enemy. That wants me to purge the unbalanced strike. Right? Oh god. Where am I generating my defense next turn? I'm not. Oh. Defensive attack feels more relevant right now. Well, defensive attack is just... it's damage attached to a repeating deflection. I think I need the energy more than that actually right now. I don't like leaving the like clockwork at that value, but I'm doing it. Hey, if nothing else, at the absolute least, I get the 10 block for the next turn, fine, but I get the Zen state, right? Or at least I get 7 charges towards the Zen state. 1,000 Fists in a position where I can actually start casting 1,000 Fists again. Ooh. Ooh, I love that. Ooh, I don't mind if I do. Got him. I can happily bet a future that back to the top of the deck and do it again next turn. Let's purge. Time warp, definitely. Use the repeating deflection. Just trying to get another fatigue stack on the enemy. And then a D-cell. And then Better still has to go out, right? And then we've cast... Yeah, okay, it's good. You sell. And then the cards that want to go atop the deck at this point. So we're actually getting to the new cycle as well. So the Might Never Matter and the Recharge are already going to happen. 1,000 Fists is obviously one of the cards I want to put atop the deck. I think I put that and Mind Blast, so I have the ability to easily get into... No, I start the turn in Zen. So I put the 1,000 Cuts there, and I also put something like a Combination Strike there. Sure. All right. Bring an Obsidian Golem. I'm pretty sure I just lined up lethal. Okay, so this lethal lineup comes off of the back of playing 1,000 Fists 3 times. 1, 2, recharge, 3. That'll do it. I feel like I have piloted this deck quite effectively. Do I really want Sidestep in my opening hand? What do I want to do on my opening hand? We've got literally just a health potion. That's the only potion we have for the upcoming fight. That's a little bit... are we going to be in a fight long enough that we want the State of Mind? Like, actually put that back in the deck? Actually put that in the opening hand? I think I need more Lashing. Like, cutting a Repeating Deflection for another Lashing here is a totally legitimate play in my mind. The amount of slow that I'm going to need against this enemy is going to be... Well, it's going to be more than we have. Defensive attack doesn't feel relevant. Because it's 20 damage, and it's 5 block, and it's 5 delay block. I mean, after it's upgraded, it's much more relevant. But without that upgrade, it feels irrelevant. State of Mind, adding Shi to enemies. So what? Anytime I enter Zen, I add 4 Shi to the enemy. It's going to be really irrelevant as well. I wish I could claim that it wouldn't be, but it is. Momentum Mori deals damage equal to half the target's future strike. I think I just have to put that in. Like, I think later on in the fight, when I'm having a lot of difficulty, that's suddenly going to be very relevant. That's Stillness. That's the ability to apply weak without having to apply any other impacts. I'm cutting a Repeating Deflection for another Stillness as well. I know I'm cutting a bunch of defense out of the deck, but it's pseudo defense, right? The other defense is block. This is weak, right? Both of those are defends. Of a kind, at least. Alright, Void. I don't think blood is going to be ultimately worthwhile here. I think just getting more fatigue on the enemies, as well as the ability to inflict Shi, the weak from this, is going to be relevant. Alright, Void. You start with 1 less Fiorenzi. Fiorenzi is what I was saying. I definitely wasn't saying the wrong word. I've never said the wrong word in my entire life, and I don't know what you're saying. I'm never going to be able to prove that. Okay. So we still just start with the standards. Purge this to make pretty much all of our card draw more effective. 1,000 Fists. 1,000 Fists as well, I think. Actually, our first cycle, what do we want to really play in our first cycle? Because we don't need damage. We just want everything that helps us do damage later. So actually what we do here is Time Warp definitely becomes 0 cost. And then we return a card back to hand, getting a Minor Matter, purge that. And now we can go for the Combination Strike. Okay. Then I can use a Sidestep to get into Zen. Combination Strike 3 times here. Actually, Stillness. No, because use 3. So I just use 1 Stillness at the end of this turn. Combo Strike. Combo Strike. Combo Strike again. Yeah, single Lashing and a single Stillness are still more than enough to whittle the incoming damage down to 4 probably next turn. Having vulnerability to start the next turn seems appealing, but having the overcharge also seems kind of just appealing. Just do that now. This sidestep can just be purged. In fact, should be. Stillness, lashing. Fine, I'll get the unbalance out of there, but I'm getting the sift away. Next turn's our first hero power spell, and then I'll be using it every time it comes up after that fact. Okay, Thousand Fists also returns itself to hand. Sneak attack is suddenly going to become a huge here. Ah, all alone! All alone! You were supposed to be in the deck! That was the card! That was the substitution! Ah, my bad. I just completely forgot about that card somehow. Okay, I'm not in Zen yet. I mean, if I'm not in Zen yet, maybe I want to start with something else. No, but I only get one play of it anyway. Unless... Unless it's not what I play to start out with, because I start out with skills, abilities, that is. So that would be playing Time Warp, playing the Outpace as well, literally just to get into Zen. Then I play Thousand Fists 3 times in a row. Yeah, yeah, that'll be it. That'll be what I do. I mean, I could draw a bunch here instead, but 44, 44, 44. That's 100. Is that worth anything? Or do we just cycle more again? It's worth something. Especially if we drew Memento Mori, it was worth something. Nice. 144. 114. Let's try and get it to that magical 144 that I listed before, though. Got 2 more casts that I get for free here. I mean, either of these are slowing the enemy, right? So, again, we'll do the same. I mean, this also weakens the enemy if I throw it out right now, but the incoming damage being 7, I think, is enough for me to be able to handle by myself. 129 damage right there, boss. First stack of fatigue goes off. Wait, this purges for Chain 1 as well. So what I should have done is play the Outpace, then purge the Time Warp. Still going to be litigating that for a million years. Like, I can get into Zen this turn. Do I want to? Yes. Yeah. We want to get into Zen, and then we just save 7 Zen for the Pendant of Focus, I think, here. Enemy's casting Fury, though, so it's Mind Over Matter. Thousand Fists is still really important. Time Warp is still really important as well, though. Okay, so I purge that. Do I end up playing Repeating Deflection this time? No, I probably play Better Future. I really want that D-Cell to cost 0 as well, though. Okay, so... Oh, wait, I'm purging enough cards to actually get rid of all of the damage. That was what was happening there. I was wondering why it was going away. Do I want to put those 2 atop the deck? I mean, if I put those 2 atop the deck, I can just do the same combo next turn and then end it with the... Oh my god. Yes, I do want to do that. And now that I'm in Zen, hard purge for the rest of the hand. Oh my god, we didn't even draw any of the ones that we'd foreseen. Okay, I'm going to Mind Over Matter a draw card now, because it's going to matter as I recharge, pulling back Mind Over Matter, use Mind Over Matter to draw 3 cards out of the deck. I thought it was going to be more than that, to be entirely honest with you. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It doesn't have to be every single card. I just like if it were. 42. I think I go with the cycle on the draw. That's the one I want to repeat. Or is it just a straight up damage again? I mean, I am going to make the enemy vulnerable at the end of this turn. Use stillness. You know what? I think I'm underestimating the effect of just using the damage here, because this is a big amount of damage. Okay. 1,000 Fists. 1,000 Fists. This next one doesn't even need to be cast in order, so I could combination strike before 1,000 Fists. Oh my god, look at that Memento Mori. Get a stillness out on the target. Time Warp doesn't need to be played here. Lashing Kick is a decent slow. Then this goes back to 3 costs and I wouldn't be able to play anything else. I actually have a way to get back into Zen this time. We use Combination Strike. We purge Lashing. We play Lashing Kick. Then we purge Time Warp. Perfect. Decel, even if I wanted to increase the target slow and weaken after this. Okay, then we Memento Mori, Lashing, and Decel just end the turn. Well, I mean, we Lashing first then. 140? Cool. 160 something? Yeah, 164 rather. And then Decel the enemy. We've only got 6 incoming damage. They're down to about half HP. They've got 2 fatigue. I start the next turn in Zen as well. Oh my god. This is great. Yeah, we're gonna be dealing a bunch of damage this turn. On balance, so that I get the opener bonus of it. I can use either sidestep here. No real benefit either way yet, though. So you sneak attack and then recharge and sneak attack here, probably. Actually, if I purge enough cards this turn, I'm fine. Right? Yeah, so am I going to purge Dock and Weave? I'll just purge this. I think I'll purge on balancing. Okay. Unfortunately, this does mean next turn I'm going to get to 4 energy, so I won't have a sidestep, a volatile sidestep in hand. But I do have a Duck and Weave preemptively to help us defend. Is Duck and Weave really what I want for the next turn, or do I purge this as well, get more energy, try and utilize the extra energy next turn? There's a bunch of combination strikes in that deck. And we have the Light Clockwork at 4. I'm purging, actually. And there's no benefit to playing an extra card here. Okay, turn 6. There's our Mind Over Matter. Yeah, nothing on the enemy yet. I can 1000 strike 3 times in a row here, easily. I could also just not do that first. Definitely doing that, so the incoming damage is significantly lower. They're weakened. So Better Future thing puts things atop the deck. I'm not going to immediately draw any of the things put atop the deck, though. Okay. What if I play Repeating Deflection, purge Mind Over Matter, play the Better Future, and then just set up like a sneak attack? Because the next wait, the enemy is using Fury this turn. This is the turn that I actually want to hit as much as I can. Oh, but they also Fury next turn. So yeah, I can complete the sneak attack with it. Okay, cool. This on like literally basically anything is fine. I guess combination strike is fine. Then Better Future pops. Literally just damage. Well, damage and like preemptive block would be nice. I think that's going to happen. I'm going to take sneak attack as well as the vulnerability. And then this turn, 1, 2, 3, and a momentum warrior for 94. Worth. Pretty sure that's worth. So I do want a lot of preemptive block this turn if I have the ability. Let's get unbalanced a couple times over. Sneaky strike before I slow the enemy. I should slow the enemy this turn if I have the ability. 48 is a significant amount of incoming damage. There's lashing kicks in the deck. Use those for the slow and then use decel as well afterwards. I like that a lot. Is there any reason not to immediately draw right now? No. Draw. Got stillness. Got the wrong one. 6 casts left in this. One of them has to be Time Warp. Sneak attack is 84 right now. God. I have to use decel. I don't have any choice at this point. And then stillness. I really don't like this, because now the sneak attack tries to come back to hand. Or rather, the first card next turn tries to come back to hand. Really, really not what we wanted. Maybe I leave Outpace in the deck. Yeah, actually, the draw next turn is very not defensive. Outpace seems fine. That was a poorly planned out turn. I should have planned out that whole turn from the start before I started clicking cards, because it actually started causing me problems at a certain point there. Okay. Combo strike. Comes back to hand. Do we use combo strike again right now? Yep. I may want to put Outpace in the next cycle, so that would be Purge, Mind Blast, play Outplace. And then start getting to our new draw cycle. There's the Mind Over Matter and the Recharge. I mean, Mind Over Matter and Recharge are already 6 block for the next turn. But do I need them? It's a good question, I think. Do I need them? How many cards have Foresight on them in the deck? 0. It does help smooth out our next cycle, but these 2 lashings reduce the incoming damage significantly. So if I can find one of these that I'm happy discarding, I think that's the way to go. And the Zen State only needs to end on 5. Yeah, I dropped the Mind Over Matter. I'm actually just going to take this 6 damage. Lashing, lashing. Then I recharge. Getting a lashing back. Right? I lash one more time. The enemy is now completely slow. They are only doing 13 damage next turn. Again, we have the same clockwork problem. However, we also start the next turn in Zen because we left ourselves with 1 cast in Zen. And I can start out with sneak attacks here. I mean, I don't have vulnerability on the target yet. Stillness already applies vulnerability, even if I'm not in Zen. It just has to be in Zen for She. That's probably worth. Yeah, that was probably worth. So let's sidestep twice there for the full block. Sneak attack. Like a better future, try and sneak attack again. Enemy's using Fury. I'm gonna combination strike first, see what we get. We do get Time Warp. Okay. Well, That changes everything. We now use Time Warp, getting an extra fatigue out this turn. And then I just need to bet a future, and I need to try and set up a kill at the end of the next turn. How do I do that? That would be... Honestly, it's probably just put 2 combination strikes into the deck. Yeah, it's still probably 2 combination strikes. Okay, we have 75 damage incoming. Start out with the leverage before unbalanced into... I mean, the unbalanced doesn't have to be second. In fact, it's free if I don't do it second. There we go. Then I'll purge D-Cell. Draw infinite cards. Okay. Get 1,000 fists out there. No, another 1,000 fists out there. Cool. 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 Oh my god, the Momentum Mori is almost lethal by itself. Get him, Mori. In fact, it is lethal by itself. I imagine there was enough Shi built up underneath that's what reached it for us. Oh, that was a mammoth of a run right there. Get that unbalanced strike, considering we actually utilized you in this run as our mastered card. I'm gonna go sit in front of an air conditioner for a million years because it is a hot summer, or at least it's starting to be a hot summer here in Australia, and 3 hours of air conditioner off in a very, very tightly packed room is, I'm a sweat factory right now. I'm less of a Let's Player and more of a facility for the production of salty, salty water for the moment. My name is Rhapsody, the name of the game has been Vault of the Void. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves. Playlist in the description down below with all my content on the game, past, present, and future, as well as the ability to go to the Steam store page yourself to pick up the game, or even review it if you've already picked it up prior. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.